How do you get so many coins?
Go ahead.
The best advice that I have to just about players at any level is patience. You're not going to get there, just spinning all max right away. I don't know too many top players at all who just jumped right in and kept betting max all the way through and got a lot of coins. You're going to be up and down a little bit, but if you have patience about the game and take a little bit of a strategic approach to it, you can slowly build up over time. I know players that have hundreds of quadrillions, quintillions, sextillions, and most of them, they took that same approach and got there a little bit at a time. Gradually increase your bets, vary the games that you play, take advantage of all the features in the game, and you'll get there.
Randy Coulter Browning says, what's a good bet to start and stay with for consistent playing and not wipe out your coin?
So I would say that's going to depend on what level you're at and what your bankroll is. A lot of times you'll see players suggesting, starting out with a bet about 1,000 times or 1,000 of your bankroll. Other players will try and follow more about a 10,000 of your bankroll to start out. Something that you can bet consistently. You want to take into consideration team points, league points, advancing for the various side games. All those are going to be factors that you're going to have to take into consideration. But keep something steady, and if you maintain that bet, and then you'll start seeing some of those results, you'll start placing higher in the different events like leagues, your team rewards, the side games, and so forth, and then you can start raising your bet as you build that bankroll.
Alex Park asked also, how can he get more of the gold wild chips? Which, I mean, obviously you can buy some, you can get some in season pass, the side games give them out, and I think you're going to get a few more of the better ones with the higher bets too. Am I right on that? Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're not like getting them crazy from betting really low, then obviously you're going to have to hope for the best. So, you may end up having to kind of do a season pass and work your wilds and your golds that way.
There's a meter. When you start adjusting your bet, there's a meter right above the amount. And if you've got that maxed out, then you'll start getting some of the gold chips, randomly throughout. But take advantage of the side games. There's the first round, you get a wild gold at the end. You get any wild for finishing the third round of any side game. And then there's always the various, I forget what you would call them, like different features as you're going through the side games, to where like the last 2 days, you have a chance to win a wild gold by completing a certain number of levels. And then the one that I always tell people not to forget about is in the quests. A lot of people avoid quests, and I think you should always be trying to play quests once in a while at least. But on the weekends, every weekend, you can win a wild gold for either getting a certain number of stars or completing a certain number of levels. And those rotate from 1 week to the next.
You asked if we should be doing the daily quests or the diamond challenges. And that works with what Jason said about how we have those mini challenges infused in it, which are great ways to get the golds and coins, especially completing those albums. But the diamond challenges are one of my favorite things that I think a lot of people forget about. And it's a great way to help also bring down your daily average and those averages of those challenges. I know sometimes when we've been winning really good, they look like they're really hard to hit. But if you take the time to complete some of them, especially on like auto spin or something, it really helps bring down your average and the amount you have to achieve for some of those challenges. And then you can level up and you can unlock those, earn the things you can spend on the store for the diamond. And that's one of my favorite ways that helped me really level up, because I complete albums. I'm able to get the little gems to do the merge island. It's kind of like a win-win situation. Hi, Natasha. Put it on auto spin and bet low. That'll help you. If you want to know how to get our average down, always leave it on auto spin, even if you're sleeping. Sometimes that's the best way to get it down.
Yeah, like 14,000 or 14 million, whatever. The one right above 3,000.
Yeah. So then you can at least still earn points towards things. Yeah, that 100%.
What is a rescue game?
Your piggy bank kind of game?
I mean, let's just say, like, everybody has a rescue game, and it may not be the same for everybody. So like for me, mine is like Jackpot of beer. Like I know when I'm broke, I can go hit that and like come back up to where I was.
So something along those lines, and I know a few players who definitely do this. There are several games where you build up credits over time to play like super free games or some other feature, and some of those you can max out, some of those you can just keep going as far as you want. So what I'll do occasionally is just build those up over time and not use those credits. And then they're there, not, if for some reason I'm low, then I can go and play those games at that point to build back up. Also, they're great for when you have certain challenges where you have to hit a certain amount within 100 spins, or you need, back-to-back wins, things like that. Those are always in reserve then. So those are my, what I guess you call a reserve game, or what were you calling it? Reserve game or
rescue game?
Rescue game.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree with you on that, but I think kind of that's more along the lines of like a savings account, like
that's my piggy bank.
Yeah, right. So like on Black Friday, you keep all the little things until you need them and whatever. Terrible. So he asked about hearing something about merging your islands on Fridays because you get more coins. I think pretty much anything in the game is like it's kind of double-ish on Fridays, right?
It all increases on Fridays, except for the album prizes. Those do not increase. And if you want to look specifically at how much things increase and what does increase, is if you go under the VIP section, there's a table in there that has all the different things, all the different rewards in the game, and shows the percentage increase or the amount increase from one level to the next, and then for the different features and what those increases are. But just remember that the album prizes, those do not increase on Fridays.
She's asking if you should merge with the diamonds, how we were talking about merge island with the gems, if you should do it lower, if you should build it up. And I definitely think if you can, save up those gems, wait for Friday. It's hard, but think of it as another piggy bank and let it build up and then turn it in on Friday. So I would definitely say wait until you're up at the higher levels for the bigger prize. Yeah, Diane Simpson asked us what's our favorite way to use gems. And for me, it's Merge Island. I feel like that's kind of a good little sneaky thing to advance quickly, a good way to kind of jump and merge and hit that extra like palm tree or those stupid spell books sometimes. I get stuck on the spell books with the witch hat. Ooh. So I like to save my gems, and I like to go on Friday. So that way when you unlock the new level with the gems, you get that extra bonus with the coins.
So there is one question I saw a couple times in there about winning a grand. There's a actually detailed post on the Facebook page, and a lot of these questions, there are posts, tips and tricks on the page, but one thing there is no guaranteed way of winning a grand, but something to take a look at is when you're playing a slot, the average slot, the grand is usually around 1,000 times whatever your base bet is. There are, however, slots that can go up to 2,000, 5,000, or 10,000 or more. So the thing you have to think about is that if those grands are that much higher relative to your base bet, they're probably going to be more difficult to win. On the flip side of that, there are some slots that have a much lower ratio of a grand. Some are as low as 200 to 500 times. So those slots, you're going to have a lot better chance of actually hitting a grand more frequently. So if you're really just looking to hit a grand, you can play those easier slots that have the lower ratio. Cookie Crunch is a really popular one with a lot of players. If you play that enough, you're going to hit a grand. There's almost no way not to, I would say.
And Joanne C. Holland says, I struggle to earn team points because I can't bet as high as my teammates. Any suggestions?
So the team points you earn, they're going to be based very much on your average bet. So if your average bet increases over time, then those team points, you're going to have to continue to bet higher to earn the same number of team points week from week or week to week. The only suggestion I can have is to try and lower your average, and eventually you can try and you'll see some of that, you get some of that back. The team points will start increasing, but otherwise, really the only thing you can do is just raise your bet, unfortunately.
One from Pamela Long, and she says, how many levels are there in the new side game? And so I'm trying to see if she's talking about the new with the little pow aliens.
Star Invaders.
That is fun, but I have not looked at how far I can go. So that is a great question, Pamela Long, because I personally don't know.
How many levels are there in Star Invaders?
So we were discussing this on the mod side a little bit, and just based on what I've seen from other players and my own experience, it appears that there are 5 levels. There are 5 separate boss aliens that you can kill or destroy as you go through it. And I did notice that after the 5th and then after the 10th level, that the percentage that your progress bar, the percentage that it increases, did drop off slightly each at those points. So I think it's basically every 5 levels you're going to start seeing a change, and it just recycles at that point.
Yeah, okay. I did just ask Gemma, and she told me there's no limit. But I was also thinking like Jason there that there are the 5 bosses, so there's not an infinite variety anyway. Let me answer this real quick. Michelle Ray Dietrich Brown says, do you know why in sending coins and chips some people can send more to others? Do you guys know? Pros.
Yeah.
Yep. With the badge.
Get the mono badge. Get the mono badge. You get 10 cents.
Yeah, no, with the Mon badge, right? Yeah, I don't know why I thought I could stump you guys, but Epic Nado, how do you win that? Spin all, spin one at a time, or spin on repeat?
So I've seen many posts of the people who have won it, and it varies. There is no one way or the other that seems to work better. I would say that I've seen just as many posts for people who have done a one-off as people who are just spinning one at a time. So it's random.
I've won it twice, and each time I've won it, it's been from all-in-one. That's from personal experience. And one time I only had 10 spins, and I won it, guys. It wasn't like I built up a whole bunch.
Del Villar, congratulations. And his question is, what day do you bet higher, and are there days that you really bet lower?
Me, Sunday is my low day.
Really?
I bet the same all the time. I don't have a low day or a high day. I pretty much keep a fairly steady bet. Throughout the day, I may go up and down a little bit here and there, but no particular day that I'm going to bet higher than others usually.
I don't play as much on Thursdays after reset. I just after the team thing's over and it's the new start, it just, for me, I don't know about everybody else, but that day seems to be. So Thursdays, I just kind of chill.
Fridays, I bet high. Sundays, low. She asked us, do you buy all passes or just certain ones? And I think that's a good question for all of us, Sylvia. For me, I like the passes. If I'm going to be playing the game, I know a lot of people don't always like to spend the money. But for me, if I'm going to be sitting there and I'm spending some of my time, especially my downtime, I'm going to invest and I'm going to have some fun. So I like to get all the passes. For me, and I like to get the Quest Hunt Pass too. That's another one that will help you finish that Magic collection of the album. Get those wilds, those purple wilds. Try that.
So that goes. It was one of the questions I did see was from Tracy Gray, what's the opinion of one of the best purchases in the game? And I think the passes are really, especially the season passes, by far the best purchase in the game. The 2 things that I would probably most frequently purchase are the pass, the season pass, and then also the Mon badge is really a good purchase as well. Especially, so you get the bonus every day for that, and then you get the extra sends. But then the big one in that is you get the boost in your league points as well. So it multiplies by 1.5, and that's really big. And then that goes also to the question about how to use gems, best use of gems. Gems, if you use those with the league, you double your points. So if you have the Mon badge and then you're using gems at the same time for league points. You're betting a little higher to get higher trophy points. You're basically tripling your points at that time. So those are two of the big ones in my book.
Margaret Beecroft wants to know how to get more bells in the game. And I've seen like a ton of them starting to show up in the side games. It's different ways to get bells.
So if you finish first in the side games for the whatever the ladder is, the race, you get a bell. Quest, and a lot of people avoid quest, but if you're one of the top 3 finishers, you get 3, 2, or 1 bells there every 2 weeks. There's also the different events, just the random events that show up occasionally. You can almost always very easily get at least 1 free bell out of those, sometimes 2 or 3. So playing those each time, even without a purchase, very easy way to get a bell. If you are making purchases, you can double the bells pretty easily in those as well. So that's another decent purchase to make as well.
What are the best pets to kind of level up? Like the owl is good for what, like team points and stuff like that? And what does the cat and the dog do? I mean, maybe you could explain that a little bit.
The panda helps whatever you're doing. Like right now, if you're blasting the alien, little things, or it's whatever featured game we're doing, like the rocks or anything like that. What our favorite slots are for auto spinning, and for me, it's the Tinkerbell. And the Tinkerbell's mine to help me average low, or if I have some goals to hit, because there's no grand in it and there's no jackpots. So you know how sometimes you have to clear the screen or something if there's one of those, especially if you're putting it at nighttime. The Tinkerbell and the Piggy Pig one with the little, like, with the wolf that blows down the houses, those are my favorite because there's no big prize, and so you're not going to have to stop unless you max out the amount of things you can get for the houses.
Yeah, Dragon Stack and a Jackpot of Gold too.
You guys use your like VIP center. What do you guys do with the VIP center?
I like to get my coupons.
Right. Yeah. And I'm stacking it too. Like I'm saving it. That's like a piggy bank for me because it'll come in handy one day.
Daily check-in, guys.
You finish the DIY game completely, that you get unlimited coins forever. Is that true?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm like, I'm gonna go finish that.
So
I don't think you can. Right?
You can't. No, you can't finish it.
No.
It keeps going on forever. One note on that about DIY, bingo, whatever, all those types of games. A lot of people, and I've seen some people who've mentioned this in some posts as well, but a lot of people, I think, really play those wrong in that you're using it solely as trying to get that one quick big win, and you're playing it right away, and your goal is to just get through it and then play it once and hope for that big win. And you're going to do that maybe once in a while. You get a good result, but really it's more of a long term and something. I myself, I don't play it until usually like the last day or two. I save up all those spins and then play it at the very end, and then you see that return. It takes a little longer, but one thing to also remember about those games, and if you may not be aware of this, is those big wins when you get the epics and legendaries, which are more common with those side games like that. Those all count towards your trophy points for leagues.
Yeah.
So you can really rack up a lot of legendary wins with those. Towards the end, they can help you if you play those on Saturday or Sunday. They can help you maintain your league position or maybe even advance a position late.
They asked us if the $39.99 bucks lifetime, whatever it costs for you, if the bucks lifetime is a good deal. And when you first purchase it, a great thing to know is you're going to be getting that value back plus a little bit of extra. And then every day you'll get a little bit of change here and there. And I know when you first open it the first couple of days and you're like, oh, that's 3 cents or 2 cents. That seems a lot. But a lot of time when you have leftover change from like a 99-cent package or $1.99 or $4.99, whatever the minimum is, that little bit starts to add up. And then when you have your piggy and you bust him, extra bit of change that you've been building up, it's worth it. So for me, the lifetime bucks, definitely worth it. He says, do you think purchasing affects the winning percentage? And that's kind of the next question that I've gotten from some people I have played with. I do sometimes feel like I'm winning great after I have some money after I've purchased, but that's also after I've lost all my coins and I've been playing on something and I'm finally like, okay, now I'm going to buy something. So I can't necessarily say it's because I purchased. After you've been losing and you finally win it, it feels like you won because you purchased. But honestly, I have won after I haven't purchased for weeks. And I've won a big grand that I've posted that was my biggest after I haven't purchased. So I don't think it affects it.
Regarding the various games like DIY, bingo, and so forth, I think that was the question about, which was your favorite or least favorite. And this goes back to something I said earlier, where
whatever,
I
and the way
play all of them, and I play them pretty much all the time. There's certain times where I might turn them off for certain, at certain missions or so forth that I'm trying to complete. But otherwise, I have them on all the time. And some people comment, well, I'm not winning a lot on them, or I don't know if I'm getting a good return on them all the time. I think it balances out. And the thing that a lot of people don't take into consideration, why I always say I turn on as many features and have many things going as I possibly can, because it all adds up over time. But also, as you're spinning, you're earning points, not just towards those side games or the different features. You're earning points for your team standings. You're earning points for your league standings. So those are later paybacks that you're going to see, not just that immediate return. You kind of have to play that long game a little bit and think about what you're going to get, 2 days later or at the end of the week and so forth. So don't just turn off a side game because you don't think you're getting a good return on it. You probably are. It's just you're maybe you're going down for other reasons, or whatever it may be, but you're going to see those rewards further down as you keep playing them. So Joseph Sasso, he asked the question regarding the difference between regular and high roller. There really is no difference. You're going to earn the same points based on relative to the bet that you have. The thing is that you have different bet options on the high roller, which you may be able to take advantage of. It may be a different range. If you're on the normal ones, you may not have a specific bet that you're looking for. Go over to a high roller, and there may be a bet level that's more ideal for the level that you want to bet at that time. Also, something to consider is that you can go up to certain slots, certain games. On the normal side, the grand jackpot or other levels of jackpots may be locked at the lower level bets, but they're usually all open on the high roller side. So you can bet a lower amount and still have the grand jackpots available.
Dewarka D'Angel says, for me, any feature in the future, that's not a good, where we could actually buy free spins with some amount of coins. Dewarka, I have sent that suggestion into the Cash Tornado Planning Department, but
I think that's similar to the super free wins. Like if you are thinking about trying to purchase or something, just save up some of your coins in those super big wins when you talk all of those.
Well, they do have the free spin frenzy 2 days, because you can go in there and when you purchase, you get like automatic free spins.
Ed.
Lori Estefa said, how can you use the blue tickets in Diamond Challenge? And those are the refreshers. And for me, I like to use the refresh tickets in the morning because I'm not going to do the beginning blue challenges. I'm trying to level up. That's one of my favorite things to turn in later. So I like to use those and make them a little bit better. A lot of times the ones when, I think it's purple, I don't remember if it's epic, but those ones, a lot of time I get like spin 100 times at so much money or something, and you get a lot more points, and that's how you're going to rank a lot higher on the leaderboard. So use those refreshers, save them up for a day that you're going to be able to invest and play. So like Thursday after our team challenge, and you can actually play. Use those refresh to make them worth higher value and higher points. That way you really can jump that leaderboard.
One thing I did want to, I mentioned it very briefly at one of the early questions, but make sure that you're checking out the Facebook page and search tips and tricks. A lot of the questions that we got tonight, there are some detailed responses to those types of questions that myself and other moderators, other players have posted on that page. You can look at the featured section, some of them are pinned there, but just do a search on tips and tricks, and you'll find dozens of really good posts that provide a lot of great information for this game.